Told to remove all her clothes, she did so, and was handed a rough blue dressing gown. There was form filling too, but as she was the only arrival, it only took moments to record her name, the date, and the time. Joined by more officers now, she was led to a room filled with cages. Had she arrived in a van load with others, she'd now be placed inside one to wait, while those ahead of her were processed. The cages were low and made out of wire, like chicken coops. Each woman sat with no space to change position, cross her legs, stretch her arms, or stand. The wait could take hours. But she was alone, and the officers marched her straight through. The next room she entered was a bathroom, tiled, low-ceilinged, and cold. It held a metal tub and stank of carbolic. In the tub was a couple of inches of water. The prisoner was ordered to bathe. While she knelt in the water, her set blonde hair was washed with soap. She dried herself on the thin towel. She put on the orange prison dress and rubbed at her scratchy, tar-scented tangle of hair. In the next room she saw the doctor. A black metal chair faced stirrups that hung from the ceiling. The doctor hoisted her legs into position, checked her pubic and head hair for lice, and swabbed her internally to test for sexually transmitted disease. Her anus and vagina were checked for contraband items. Now, she was ready for admission. It was the night of October the 11th, 1965. Prisoner W605 Myra Hindley was in Risley, on remand. Other preparations for Hindley's arrival had also been made. News of her coming was known in the women's wing. The newspapers were full of a murder in a council house in Manchester. It was 4 days since Hindley's boyfriend, Ian Brady, had been arrested. Not much was yet known to the public, but inside, rumours spread quickly. The inquiry was widening. Police had begun to suspect this quiet young man of involvement in other disappearances, the disappearances of children. The horrific details of the Moors' murders would soon be revealed to the world. But in prison there's trade. In tobacco, in drugs, in drink, and information. Already, word had reached Risley that Hindley had committed crimes that were beyond comprehension. Nicky Nicholls, aged 20, was on remand in the women's wing, charged with a minor offence, trying to break into a cotton mill in Bradford. She'd been caught before she managed to do it. She was a newcomer, but because she was quiet and polite, she had quickly become a trustee. This meant she was thought unlikely to cause trouble. Trustees performed tasks around the prison: painting, tidying, cooking. It gave them release from their cells, where everyone else spent 23 hours each day. Nicky was fetched with another trustee. An unexpected task was explained to them. In 20 minutes' time, a new prisoner would arrive, to be placed in an isolation cell. The prisoner had not yet been convicted, and her cell would be fitted with a lamp, a carpet, and curtains. The women's wing was never silent at night. Prisoners cried out in the dark, but now the place was electric with menace. Behind locked doors, voices rose as Nicky walked along the upper landing. Rage sparked from woman to woman. The first yells rang out. Raw, tight faces stared from cells' wired grills. On the empty cell's threshold were a small folded rug with a fringe, a green lamp, and plain white curtains with hooks, to be fitted to the bars on the window. The trustees picked them up and entered the cell. Nicky nearly dropped the heavy lamp because her fingers were trembling. "Take care," said the screw in the doorway. She fumbled her end as the two trustees rolled out the rug, stepping around in the tiny space to make sure it was down straight on the floor. She couldn't reach to hang up the curtain.